Originally released for PC June 20th, 2021, then for PSVR December 23rd, 2022 by developer and publisher Candymakers. Survive is a zombie apocalypse game, and I was about to say another zombie apocalypse game, but here's the thing. I've played my fair share from this genre, but Survive is different. This was one immersive experience from beginning to end, exploding with atmosphere and character. And while it did fall short in a few areas, it still managed to hold its own till the credits rolled, and has cemented its place as one of the best survival horror games, VR or flat, that I've ever played. Thanks to Candymakers for the review key. The story here, although by no means original, was conveyed really well, and certainly builds over time.
Commonly known as V1v3. If you're hearing this message, please answer the radio. I need help.
It's been over a year since a virus called V1v3, hence the catchy name, has ravaged the world as we know it.
You know why the virus has been called V1v3? It was an acronym for Virus Category 1, Viral Grade 3. Such a petty name.
It's a contained story, for lack of a better word, as there are no groups or pockets of survivors. There's basically no antagonist to speak of. Well, kinda, but I won't go overboard with the spoilers. It's basically just you and this one guy who reminds me of the prepper from Zombie U. This worked out well for me, as antagonists are what ruined the Walking Dead series for me. I stopped watching after the first season when they introduced that Negan guy. The governor was bad enough, but this invincible, smarter than everyone else bad guy, who for some strange reason everyone becomes an idiot around him, can't shoot straight, can't stop talking and just act, can't devise a decent enough plan to take him down, because that would ruin the story progression nonsense. Got so old. The Walking Dead Season 1 was great. After Season 2, alright. But by the time the writers lost all creative fuel and decided to introduce the indestructible smartest man in the world antagonist, that's when it all fell apart for me. But I digress, but for good reason. My point, in this contained story, is just you and your team if you play in co-op, which I didn't. It's just you against the environment, against the apocalypse, just the way I like it. There were no survivors trying to kill you and steal your loot. There was no drama between yourself and anyone else in your camp. And there was no camp. Just you over the course of one night trying to make it to this voice over radio. Now, since I'm on the story, I gotta say this. Survive has perhaps the most disturbing, the darkest ending I recall ever experiencing in a video game. But as unsettling as it was, I must commend the devs. I'll always give a thumbs up to anyone who dares to step outside the box in this cowardly world of mass conformity.
We need something to detonate it. We have to improvise a detonator with what you can find there in the city. We need an electric connector, a digital keypad, and a 9-volt battery for triggering.
You're going to hear me say this several times throughout this review. Survive is one of the most atmospheric gaming experiences I've ever had. This well-crafted atmosphere helped build a story that could have easily been bland, generic, and forgettable. This atmosphere not only aided the story, but just about every other aspect of this game as well. In the sound department, this was handled so well. The voice acting, particularly from the prepper, yeah, I'll call him that from here on in. His acting was really well done.
Found it! Come on! Take the C4 and connect the battery to the electronic connector.
Now, because you're a silent protagonist for most part, there really is no voice acting from you. And there's maybe 2 other persons you hear speaking throughout, which were okay at best. But the voice you hear the most, the prepper, job well done.
See? It's all easier now. You just have to be persuasive.
Then the atmospheric sounds, the score, the sounds of the dead make, gripping. The sound design was really good. The sound effects, like your gun blasts, the footsteps, they were all executed so well. The visuals. Now, I've seen this game on PC, and of course, it looks way better than what we've got here. These PSVR 1 visuals are not pretty, not by a long shot. Actually, these are some of the worst visuals I've seen on the PSVR in a while, and I can't blame this one on the platform, as games like Tale of Onagoro, which I reviewed a few weeks back, looks really good. Games like Fract, real sharp, but here in Survive, especially in the headset, these visuals are so blurry, with excessive pop-ins. But here's the upside. First, as bad as they look, they still trump the Quest 2's visuals. If this game is ever released on the Quest 2 or Pro, I don't even want to see it. I know, I'll upset some zealots, but native Quest 2 games for most part are eyesores. So, with all the flaws here, I can still see the attention and effort paid to details. Survive is one unpleasant game visually on the PSVR, but it still looks good enough. And I take you back to the atmosphere. The overall atmosphere, which also goes back to the attention paid to detail, is like an additional coat of paint. So as blurry as Survive looks in the headset, as much as it had ridiculous amounts of pop-ins, it was still an immersive experience that I got lost in to the point that the subpar visuals were acceptable. On to gameplay. Every aspect of this game feels like a building block. The devs clearly put a great deal of passion and love into this project, that each element complements each other. On startup, we have a whole lot of options. The developers made certain to leave no stone unturned. They made sure that, although this is being released on aged hardware, the user will still get the most out of this experience. They put the work in to make this game actually fit the PSVR. Yeah, I'm mostly talking about those move controllers. Options include difficulty settings for the noob to the sadomasochist. We've got multiple languages to choose from, the option to play solo or with friends. You can pick from several character types. You can choose to show your character's body, but this didn't work out for me. When I chose the option to show the arms looked like they were coming out of my neck, jarring. You can adjust your video, audio, controller, grip, movement, comfort settings. Then there's a wizard to walk you through. I was able to experiment with various control types till I found a setting that suited the PSVR's move controllers best. The only thing I wasn't comfortable with was moving backwards. Instead of only giving you the option to double tap the walk button, they should have taken a page out of the Tale of Onagoro's books, but I got used to it. I'm like a move controller Jedi now. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners? Here I finally come. Yeah, I haven't played that yet. Still stacked high up there on my pile of shame. We've got 3 game modes to choose from. The story, which is all that interested me. A survival mode, which is pretty much as the name suggests.
Surviving in this city will be tough. First you need to get some weapons and ammo, then you also need food and water.
But this entire game is a survival game, so I didn't need to go there. Then we've got a trials mode, which is basically Survive's horde mode. Survive takes its name very seriously. This is pure survival horror. You've got limited ammo, limited inventory capacity. In order to upgrade your weapons with attachments, you have to go scavenging for these guns and ammo type magazines to learn how to do it. Melee weapons break after a while. You got that zombie stew from The Walking Dead where you cover yourself in it and the infected won't attack you. You don't run very fast either, which is odd. Because when you meet up on a runner, although dead and rotting, they run faster than you do. But yeah, still on these hardcore survival mechanics. You have to use a drill to unlock many doors, including safe houses, which are checkpoints if you expire but not save points. Then there is no pause button. This game pretty much plays out live. You want a break? Turn it off. Then, your melee attacks are ridiculously weak. I saw a guy on YouTube playing the PC version, taking off heads with one swing like Michonne, but that hardly worked out that way for me. It took so many strikes to take the infected down. The guns feel real good though. I could feel the power, and for most types of infected, one headshot would do the trick, and that never got old. Reloading was so realistic. It made me feel like this was my first time playing a truly immersive VR shooter. It wasn't, but it just felt that good. also boss fights, but not really. They weren't given any special attention, and especially the first. It was after I took it out I realized, hey, that was a boss fight.
Bloody hell! You roasted it good!
There were perhaps 2 more, but here's the thing, and remember, I don't like boss fights. These encounters were approached in a somewhat realistic way. The boss characters weren't much stronger, durable, or even smarter than the rest of the infected. They did require particular techniques to take them down, but there were really no stress, and I loved this. The devs clearly wanted to create and maintain a very real feel to this game, and that was achieved. No crazy encounters like those you'd see in a Resident Evil game or even Dying Light. Now, there were a decent variety of infected. Regular walkers, runners, and some amped up runners that were like they OD'd on steroids. There were some big fuckers who took a lot of shots to go down. Then there were these exploding guys with toxic tanks on their backs. And I think that about covers it. Again, the devs were leaning towards a more realistic experience, while many are probably watching this saying, dude, it's a zombie game, come on. And I get that. But if there was to ever be some kind of outbreak that served as some sort of rabies for humans, similar to that amazing film 28 Days Later, I wouldn't expect to see the sensationalism in games like the RE franchise. I'd more expect to see infected on the caliber seen here in Survive. This is what I mean by realistic.
Fuck! I didn't think you could live up to it. You're not the first one, you know, but you're definitely special.
Now, although I touched on a few shortcomings, like the visuals and the PSVR 1 controls, let me go deeper, as it ain't all paradise here in Survive. Things that really pissed me off in this version of Survive: tracking issues. But I don't see what else the devs could have done, as this is 100% hardware related. Yeah, the PSVR's single camera had so many tracking issues that led to my in-game death. And the map seemed pretty janky at times, and this was perhaps associated with said tracking issues. This map tied into the whole hardcore survival feel the devs were going for. It's a tablet that you have to manually pop out and use as you would a tablet like this in real life. Again, no pause, so I had to be navigating my way through these zombie-infested streets holding the tablet in one hand and my gun or whatever in the other. Then, there were some really long load times. This got real frustrating when trying to get back into a game. Then, a lot of the missions you had to do felt just annoying.
What's going on? Don't tell me the duct is blocked. Shit! If you can't open the grating manually by turning the valve, it means that there's too much pressure in the pipes. You need 3 valves to lower the pressure. Fuck!
Kinda on the level of what I described with the Walking Dead series. It felt like the devs couldn't come up with better ideas for story progression. It just got old. You set out to activate a machine or a device, something was missing. You had to go somewhere else to get something else to bring back to activate something.
Shit! The emergency locks have been activated. Who the hell knows why? You gotta unlock it if you want to proceed. There's a remote control room. Go there and reset the system. I'll set the position on your map.
Something was always broken, or had a missing component, or a path was blocked. It just got so predictable and irritating.
I can't believe it. Holy shit! It's perfect. Great job. Now, let's move on to the next issue. We have to look for a cell phone. We will need it for detonating the bomb at a distance.
Then your character seems limited in a very linear, inside-a-box kind of way. You can't climb, you can't even step up. I mean, if you'd like to step into a train car, there better be a ramp there, like you're a disabled person, or you won't be catching that train. Sometimes you'll see obstacles blocking your way and be thinking, why can't I just climb over it? This kind of thing set the immersion back a couple notches, but Survive managed to make up for this in other ways, so there's that. Then, other than the pop-ins, I'd get stuck in the environment sometimes. I'd be able to shake loose most times, but there was at least one time when I had to restart, and one time the game just crashed. So yeah, I get that porting this over to the PSVR was no easy task, and I do so appreciate Candymakers for making the effort, as I've always wanted to play this game since its PC release, but never pulled the trigger on it. But when I heard it was being released on PSVR, me being that guy who's always rooting for the underdogs and unsung heroes, I had to get in on this. So jank and all, I'm grateful for the efforts of the devs. They could have just waited for the PSVR 2, which I'm certain this will be on that headset as well. I mean, why not? It should be PC VR levels of greatness there.
Do you hear me down there? Okay. We're ready to blow up that fucking wall blocking access to the subway. Approach the wall, place the C4 more or less in the center.
That's pretty much it. It took me a bit longer than usual to complete Survive and this review, but I enjoyed every moment of it, even fighting my way through the jank. I treated the shortcomings of this port as a challenge I gladly accepted and reaped the rewards for doing so. For 2023, so far I've played 2 new PSVR games, this and The Tale of Onagoro, and while The Tale of Onagoro was great, it's not my genre of choice. So Survive stands tall as the best VR experience I've had so far for 2023, and believe me, I've got a lot more to go. So many PSVR 1 games I haven't touched yet, and some amazing PC VR titles as well. I've got a native Quest 2 review coming up next, but I think PC VR and even this old headset, the PSVR 1, has spoiled me. I kinda turned my nose up at native Quest 2 titles now. That recently released Grid Legends ain't helping either. But that's that. No score, no meters. It's my review, but your choice. I totally recommend Survive on the PSVR 1. If you're like me, who's found a sweet spot with those Move controllers, if you're able to handle that little VR handicap like I have, then give this a shot. It'll be worth your time. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's say on the other hand I found a way to piss you off with this one. Then hey, the logical course of action would be to dislike, unsub, and leave a feisty comment. Whatever it takes to have you leaving this engagement feeling vindicated, partner. Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.
Fuck! You made me shit myself, but you did it! Good job!